Yo, what is going on YouTube? I'm your host Biscuits, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be doing a video on the top 10 90s vehicles in GTA Online. I have factored in a couple different things for this list. I have factored in aesthetics, how good these vehicles look, as well as performance. Now I have gone ahead and ranked these vehicles in order of top speed. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with vehicle number 10, we have the Dinka Kanjo SJ. This vehicle is in the coupes category. It is clearly based off a Honda Civic from the early 90s. For all you Honda fans out there, go ahead and comment down below what body style. I'm not sure if this is EK or EJ or what. I would guess like a 1994 Honda Civic around that era. The Dinka Kanjo SJ can be purchased from Southern San Andreas Super Autos for $1,027,500. Customization for this car is actually great. There's a lot of different options, lots of different things that can be done to it as far as modifications go. Now the Dinka Kanjo has a top speed of 107 miles per hour. So you're definitely not going to probably win very many races with this thing. So yeah, performance on this vehicle, it's not great. It's not even in the sports class. It is in the coupes class. However, I always have loved 90s cars, especially 90s Honda Civics. So I felt that is why I wanted to include it in this list in the number 10 spot. That is pretty much it for the Dinka Kanjo SJ. Let's go ahead and move on to number 9. Alright, and next on our list in the number 9 spot, we have the Dinka Blista Kanjo. Now this is very similar to the Kanjo SJ that I just showed you all, but obviously this is a hatchback. And this is another car that is clearly based on a Honda Civic. The Dinka Blista Kanjo can be purchased from Southern San Andreas Super Autos for $580,000, or if you have the trade price unlocked, $435,000. This vehicle seems to be based on a later 90s Honda Civic. You can tell by the headlights, as well as the taillights. Again, all you Honda guys, go ahead and comment down below on what Honda Civic generation this is actually modeled after. So the Dinka Blista Kanjo has a top speed of 109 miles per hour. So 2 miles per hour faster than the Kanjo SJ. Customization for this vehicle is very good. There's lots of customization options. You can pretty much trick this thing out and do any kind of build you want. I kind of went for a cleaner show build. Nothing too crazy besides the camber, obviously. That is pretty insane looking. But yeah, I think this car looks very good. Now this is a front wheel drive vehicle, so understeer is definitely apparent. Not the best vehicle for racing, probably won't win any races with this thing. As far as looks go, I think this thing looks amazing. Rockstar knocked it out of the park with this vehicle. It looks spot on to a 90s Honda Civic hatch. And that is about it for the Dinka Blista Kanjo. Let's go ahead and move on to number 8. At number 8, we have the Maibatsu Penumbra FF. The Maibatsu Penumbra FF can be purchased from Southern San Andreas Super Autos for $1,380,000. The Maibatsu Penumbra FF is obviously based on a late 90s Mitsubishi Eclipse. And as you can see, I have the Paul Walker livery on here from Fast and Furious. I absolutely love the Fast and Furious movies. Now this vehicle has a top speed of 112 miles per hour. And definitely a great looking vehicle. If you're a fan of Fast and Furious like me, I would definitely recommend picking up the Penumbra. Let's go ahead and move on to vehicle number 7. For the next vehicle on our list, we have the Elegy Retro Custom. Now this vehicle is clearly based on a Nissan Skyline R32 or R33. This vehicle has a top speed of 115 miles per hour, and it is in the sports class category. Now, in order to purchase the Elegy Retro Custom, you will have to first get the Elegy RH8, which is a free vehicle, and then from there you will need to take it to Binny's to upgrade it to the Elegy Retro Custom. And the cost to upgrade this vehicle to the custom variant is $904,000. Now this vehicle is actually not bad when it comes to racing. Handling, this thing's actually pretty good, decent acceleration, decent top speed. I really don't have anything bad to say about this thing. I mean, it looks stunning. It's Paul Walker's car from Too Fast, Too Furious. Not much else to say about this. Let's go ahead and move on to vehicle number 6. And the next vehicle we have on our list in the number 6 spot is the ZR350. This vehicle is clearly based off a 1990s Mazda RX-7. In real life, one of my very close friends actually has this car, and he has it in this same paint job, this like Laguna Blue I think it's called. And I've actually ridden in my buddy's RX-7, and it is super fun. It is absolute blast. Amazing vehicle from the 90s. One of the better looking vehicles from the 90s, in my opinion. The ZR350 can be purchased from Legendary Motorsport for the price of $1,211,000. This vehicle is in the sports class category, and this vehicle has a top speed of 117 miles per hour. This vehicle is fun to drive, has good handling, great for drifting. If you're into drifting, you can throw some drift tires on this thing and have a blast with it. But that is pretty much it for the ZR350. Let's go ahead and move on to number 5. And for the next vehicle on our list, we have the Dinka Jester Classic. As most of you probably know, this vehicle is clearly based on a Toyota Supra from the late 90s. And as you can see, I have the Paul Walker livery thrown on here. The Dinka Jester Classic can be purchased from Legendary Motorsport for $790,000. This week it is currently on sale for $474. So if you happen to be watching this video this week and you don't have this car, go ahead and pick it up while it's on sale, because that's a pretty good price. The Dinka Jester Classic has a top speed of 119 miles per hour. Acceleration is actually pretty good in this thing, as well as top speed, not bad. If you use it for races, you'll probably do decent. Customization is also very good on this vehicle. Definitely lots of customization options. If you are a Supra fanboy or a JDM fanboy like myself, or you just love 90s vehicles, then I would definitely recommend picking up the Dinka Jester Classic. That is about it for the Jester Classic. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4. The number 4 vehicle on our list is the Karin Calico GTF. This vehicle is based on a early 90s Toyota Celica. The Karin Calico GTF can be purchased from Southern San Andreas Super Autos for $1,496,000. Now, this vehicle was released back when Rockstar introduced the Auto Shop into GTA Online. So one of the fun features you can do with this car is you can go to your interaction menu, click on vehicles, go ahead and scroll all the way down to vehicle stance, and you can go ahead and move it to lowered and select, and it will drop the car down even lower, and it will camber the wheels in a little bit further. Now this does change up the handling characteristics a little bit, but it's nothing too drastic. The Calico GTF has a top speed of 121 miles per hour. This vehicle is very quick off the line. I do believe it is an all-wheel drive car. It does suffer quite a bit from understeer. It does take a little bit of time to get used to the handling characteristics of this car before you are able to use it efficiently in races. Because of that understeer that is so bad, you really have to get used to it. It doesn't want to turn. Sometimes it's really difficult to get to turn. So anyway, that is about it for the Karin Calico GTF. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. The third best 90s vehicle on this list is the Pegassi Infernus Classic. This car is based on a 90s Lamborghini Diablo. This is one of my dream cars from my childhood. As you can see, I got the midnight purple paint job on it, as well as these blacked out pepper pot wheels, and this car just looks absolutely stunning. It's got pop-up headlights. I mean, what's not to like about this thing? It looks sick. Now this car has a top speed of 122 miles per hour. Pretty decent top speed for a 90s car. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking 90s cars in GTA Online. If you do not have this yet, I would definitely recommend picking it up. The Pegassi Infernus Classic can be purchased from Legendary Motorsport for $915,000. Pretty fun vehicle to drive. It looks absolutely amazing. And that is pretty much it for the Pegassi Infernus Classic. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2. In the number 2 spot for the top 10 90s vehicles, we have the Progen GP1. This car is based on the 1990s McLaren F1. The Progen GP1 can be purchased from Legendary Motorsport for $1,260,000. The Progen GP1 has a top speed of 123 miles per hour. It is in the supercar class category. So when you compare it to some of the other supercars in GTA Online, it definitely does not really hold up as far as performance goes. So don't really buy this thing expecting to win very many races in the supercar class. Buy this car because you want to add this to your collection because it is a sick car. I mean, it's a McLaren F1. Back in the 90s, a McLaren F1 was the fastest supercar. Absolutely amazing. If you don't have it, pick it up. That's pretty much it for the Progen GP1. And finally, the number one best 90s vehicle is the Grotti Turismo Classic. Now this vehicle is based on a 90s Ferrari F40. In my opinion, is one of the best looking Ferraris of all time. This thing looks sick. Pop-up headlights. And it's actually pretty quick. It is the fastest car in the sports classic category. The Grotti Turismo Classic can be purchased from Legendary Motorsport for $705,000. Now this car has a top speed of 125 miles per hour. This is one of my favorite cars in all of GTA Online. It just looks absolutely stunning. For a sports classic car, it handles amazingly. It has great acceleration, pretty good top speed, and it sounds absolutely amazing. Well guys, that is pretty much gonna do it for this list. I hope you found it helpful, and hopefully you learned something. Please comment down below of what you think the best 90s car is in GTA Online. Did you agree with this list? Would you have changed something? Please let me know down below in the comments. Anyways, that is just going to about do it for this list of the top 10 90s vehicles in GTA Online. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I am your host, Biscuits. Peace out.